Welcome back. We're talking commodities now with Devakumar Edwin, who is the Group Executive Director, Dangote Industries. He was a former GMD of Dangote Cement. Good morning to you and thank you for coming on the show.
Good morning, madam.
So the last time we had conversations, we talked about how cement has now been introduced to not only build houses, but also construct roads. And now Dangote Cement has started operations at its Okpela plant in Edo State. Talk to us about the challenges that, especially since you have this kind of environment that you're working in, forex challenges as well as energy.
Yeah, I'll make a small correction. Dangote Cement at Okpela, we just had a groundbreaking ceremony. We have not started the production yet. And coming back to the challenges, yes, one of the biggest challenges, lack of infrastructure. If you see every single investment of ours, we have to invest in our own power generation. We have to invest in our own transportation. If you take Okpela Cement, for example, you have 4 industries operating within one industry. One is the cement plant to produce 6 million tons of cement. Number 2 is mining to mine 9 million tons of raw material. And there is a power plant to generate 90 megawatts of power. And then there is a transportation with a fleet of 2,500 trucks. So each of them is a big operation on its own, and so it's a 4-in-1 operation. In most of the countries, if you see, the mining is actually given out on commercial basis. There are operators who come and do the mining for you. Power, you depend upon the grid. Transportation, it's all the transporters come and pick up your goods. But here, because of the lack of facilities, you have to massively invest in all these facilities. But fine, the dividends are also good.
Okay, so talking about the dividends, we know that Dangote has done a lot of Pan-African expansion, and now it seems that you're concentrating on Nigerian expansion. But looking at the challenges that you've listed, how do you intend to make any money?
Well, you see, we turned our focus back into Nigeria because of one primary reason. Before we invested anything in cement, it was the year 2000, we had our first cement production coming out of our terminal. Prior to that, the total installed capacity of cement within Nigeria was 3 million tons. And the production was coming about 1.6 to 1.8 million tons. But if you take last month, for example, Dangote Cement alone produced and dispatched about 1.6 million tons of cement. And all the others have also been producing. So the demand for cement has surged to an extent today that all the manufacturers are producing to almost their full capacity, and the demand is still unsatisfied. So if we don't invest further in manufacturing, obviously there is going to be a demand supply gap, and then there will be a need for importation. Right now we are already suffering for foreign exchange, and if this cement, which we have all started manufacturing, as I said, Dangote Cement alone today we are producing more than 20 million tons of cement within Nigeria. And if that 20 million tons alone is saving you a foreign exchange of $2 billion. Right now we are having a foreign exchange crisis, and if we don't increase our manufacturing capacity, we'll get into a much more serious crisis. Then there will be a shortage of cement, there will be no foreign exchange to import, it will drive up the prices.
But then you're increasing your manufacturing capacity, and taking a look at this figure sent in from Financial Derivatives Company, of course, we see cement, 50 kilograms of cement at 1,700 naira, at least here in Lagos, but in Kano we have it at 1,800 naira. So talk to us, looking at the challenges, the forex challenges and all the other challenges that you've enumerated, are these going to be passed on to the consumers? Because cement prices at the way they are, and looking at the challenges the way they are, seems likely.
Okay, let me explain to you. If you look at all the prices of any item in Nigeria linked to dollars, that is adjusted to not inflation but adjusted to the currency exchange fluctuations, cement is the only commodity which is selling today at a price below what it was almost 20 years back. That's number one. Number two, if you take the prices of cement in the last 1 year, 12 months, for example, no single item in Nigeria, including pure water or a toilet roll, the prices have gone down, whereas the cement prices have gone down by almost 35% in the last 12 months. And in the last few months, even stationary, they have been adjusting to a parallel market rate of
so cement price
whereas cement prices are down. Yeah, so when you increase the volumes, obviously it helps us to absorb the fixed cost, so we are able to maintain the price. Even though the parallel market rate has almost gone up by 50%, we are buying dollars. If we have to really buy from the banks, and a parallel market rate is more than 300, but we are still maintaining the price what it was at 200 after giving a 35% discount.
Talk to us a little bit more about how much you're spending in terms of generating electricity, energy.
It leads to a lot of capital expenses. For example, this 90 megawatt plant alone at Ukpela will cost us about $120 million. But if you are investing, you can run the plant efficiently, and my power generation cost is lower than what I'll be buying from PHCN today. It leads to a lot of headache. I have to invest in coal mining. It is a coal-based power plant. We are opening up a huge coal mines in Kogi State. We are investing in power plant. It's very heavily capital intensive, but in the long run, it pays itself off.
Yeah, and that's why I asked that question about how if you're going to be transferring the cost to consumers. But then talk to us a little bit more about how you're going to be, getting revenue into, power this plant. Dangote has done a lot of Pan-African expansion, and from your 2015 results, we see that there was more revenue generated from your Pan-African businesses than Nigerian business. Yeah. Now that you're heavy into expanding across Nigeria, will you be investing the dollars you're getting from your Pan-African subsidiaries into the Nigerian cement industry?
There are two ways we are planning to invest. One is because Dangote Cement is headquarters in Nigeria, so the holding company is in Nigeria. So all the dividends earned or any loan they have taken from the group, the interest will also all be flowing back in terms of foreign exchange into Nigeria. We started the cement production only in the middle of last year in various countries. Already you can see foreign exchange inflow from Senegal, foreign exchange inflow from Cameroon. So some of the countries already the earnings have started flowing in. Number two, we are also focusing on exports. We are exporting already to Niger, to Togo, to Ghana, and there are other countries like Cote d'Ivoire we are looking at. So the exports alone, at least we are very confident that we can export up to 2 million tons of cement at a bare minimum. So that will also bring a lot of foreign exchange into the country. Going back to the issue of the pricing, when you operate your own transport, when you generate your own power, as I said, the capital cost is high, but the operating cost is quite low. So we are able to pass on the benefit to the customer. If you see our transport, we are almost giving transport free of cost. And power generation cost is far below PHCN. So it helps us to drive down the cost and pass the benefit to the customer. Otherwise, there is no way we can be selling cement today at this price.
Okay, so Mr. Edwin, you talked about the fact that the event that happened on Sunday a couple of weeks ago was the groundbreaking. Production is yet to start. So when is production beginning?
It will be 27 months from now, because we are just about to start the civil construction.
So in that time, that's like a medium-term kind of goal, medium to long-term kind of goal. What's your outlook for your market share in particular in Nigeria?
The market share, we will be able to maintain what we are holding today, but we are also looking at ways and means of improving our current cement capacity in a very innovative way, because we do not want any demand-supply gap to come in. So one is we are trying to drive down further our energy costs by we have invested massively in coal mills and other ancillary equipment to manage the production. Even when the gas is down, we can go to coal. And obviously, if we are efficiently mining coal, my cost of production will be even cheaper with coal than with gas. So it takes out the dependency and increase my capacity utilization, brings down my cost of production. But we are also trying to increase our capacity of the existing cement plants at Boko, at Obajana and Ibeshe. So the time required will be much shorter, so it will further increase my volume of production.
Okay, so going back to those other factories that you mentioned, the one in Boko, Obajana and Ibeshe as well, give us an update on where those ones, what level, the volume of production being done in those particular factories?
Yeah, the level of production, you can say it's coming roughly about 70%. Primarily because of the interruptions of gas supply. But once we switch over to coal, because we will have our own mines, so it will help us to boost up the capacity utilization.
Mr. Edwin, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning and giving us those perspectives on what's going on with regards cement. Dangote Cement, of course, in the country. Edwin,
you,
Mr. Divakumar Edwin is the Group Executive Director, Dangote Industries, giving us a perspective there on cement and what the company is doing in Okpela in Edo State. Well, Business Morning continues in just a moment. Join us again.